2010, after years of research and development, Core Balance was introduced to the horse industry as the new generation of equine performance nutrition. The Core Balance mission is to provide a complete line of fully balanced horse supplements applicable to every equine discipline. To revolutionize the equine nutritional industry, Core Balance based their research off of the most current and up-to-date statistics for equine nutritional needs. Manufactured in the United States with no fillers, additives, or binders, our 5 products are created using the highest quality ingredients at high enough levels to maximize their benefits. Core Balance originated from the desire to combat today's equine health and soundness issues through the creation of a strong foundation. We've put a lot of thought and science into what goes into our supplements. Trainers, breeders, owners, and competitors are constantly searching for a safe and natural way to increase their horses' capabilities to grow and perform. And those who have never believed in supplements are now turning to Core Balance to meet their horses' needs and fulfill their expectations for quality products. We're proud of our 96% reorder rate as the Core Balance products continue to make their way into some of the finest training programs in the country. The Core Balance products provide peace of mind that you're giving your horse the most complete supplement on the market. It's the difference you can both see and feel in your horse. Core Balance products are available through your local veterinarian and can be purchased online at corebalanceus.com or by phone at 805-878-3342.
The nutrition is a huge component of what we do, and we start these horses at a young age. I'm in my 3rd year with Core Balance now. I've been in since the beginning, and this crop of 3-year-olds has been as sound as any group I've had probably in recent history. We've had a lot less vet problems. They have a lot more stamina. They just look better. The Core Balance horses, as we've started using it and we watch year after year and crop after crop of colts, they just have a look about them. And you can actually, I feel like I can actually watch these horses now and tell who's using it and who's not using it. It's really incredible. And one of the little tricks that I've noticed with our horses at home, when we start them on it, they basically grow a new foot. You can watch their feet as the horseshoers are trimming them over a period of time. You can just see new hoof wall grow down there. So that is what really is telling me something's going on in their body. Okay, it's working because you can just see new hoof wall, a different kind of hoof wall, a more sturdy hoof wall grow down as we feed this stuff to them. And it's an integral part of what we do, especially this year with me hauling on the weekends. I'm showing 4 or 5 horses for World Championship points, and those horses, here we are in August, so we've been hitting it hard for 8 months, and they're as fresh now as they were in January. I mean, their stamina is incredible. It really is an important part of what we're doing. And immediately I saw results. I saw the changes in the animals, but the thing that really got me involved in it is a lot of my customers, they all have supplements. Everybody feeds supplements of some type or another. And so there's a bucket of one kind of thing at one horse's stall and a bucket of something else at another horse's stall, and it's 2 scoops of this and 1 scoop of that and a squirt of this and a squirt of that. And as much as we travel, it was hard to make sure they were getting everything they were supposed to get. And when we decided to switch to Core Balance, it was pretty simple. It was give them 2 scoops a day. And everything else went away. I mean, everything we feed is inclusive in the training formula or the developmental formula, so it was so simple. You know, I can tell my boys that are feeding, you give them 2 scoops of this every day. And it just simplified our whole feeding program. And of course, the customers bought into it as they saw the results, because we were so scattered in what we were feeding, we weren't really knowing what was working and what was not. But Core Balance simplified that and gave us a product where it's pretty idiot-proof. I mean, if you can take 2 scoops and dump it in their feeder, they're going to get everything they need nutritionally to give them the optimum ability to perform.
Today's feeding program needs to parallel the increasing standards of competition. The emphasis on nutrition has become more important than ever in maintaining a competitive edge with performance disciplines, and the training formulas offer a complete and scientific solution to the nutritional guessing game. One of the most important aspects of the Core Balance formulas is the careful calculation of the 3 essential amino acids. If they're not at high enough levels, the horse is unable to utilize its nutrition and build quality proteins. The training formulas are properly balanced formulations consisting of everything your equine athlete needs in just one bucket, and specifically designed for overall health of your horse, including vitamins, minerals, joints, electrolytes, hoof health, immune support, and digestive system protection. Training formulas are offered in either alfalfa blend or grass hay only formula to match your horse's specific feeding program.
Nutrition's it's the basis. You've got to have the right nutrition and able to maximize your performance. Underplaying it probably is the worst thing. They just you get in the role of feeding what you feed, and you don't maximize what your horse can do. I also feel that most people feed the same thing to every level of their horses, from brood mares through show horses or aged horses. They just get into a routine of feeding the same feed. Whether they're overfeeding or underfeeding, they just are feeding the same feed. In the pregnant mare, nutrition is just as important, if not more. Just the fact that they're building another baby in them, it's a very important stage of their life. A lot of times, just seeing a piggy fat brood mare doesn't necessarily mean she's being fed right. Very balanced minerals and vitamins is more important than the overall weight of the animal, and balancing that with whatever ration you're feeding, be it alfalfa or grass. We've used a lot of different supplements and recommended a lot of different supplements, but one of the first aha moments would have been a yearling that was just a poor doer, being fed with the rest of the other yearlings out there. He just didn't look right. Wasn't wormy, wasn't ill in any way. All we did with that yearling is put him on the developmental formula, alfalfa based, and within 30 days that thing was blooming and looked as good as the rest, if not better. That was probably one of the first moments that I thought the product really worked. Specific case studies, the Core Builder is probably the easier one for me to say has shown the most results, just because it's very dramatic, and a lot of times what the horses that you're using with really are obviously off or obviously weak or set back from the rest of the horses that they're around. And the Core Builder is one within 30 to 60 days that I think you find the most results. Developmental, anytime someone wants to offer any supplement to a growing animal or to a mare, that's the supplement of choice. The training formulas, any horse in a training farm, if they want to have a good baseline all-around supplement that's supplying the joint protective building blocks as well as the rest of the vitamin and minerals, that's where I'd use that. Core Balance does, if you read the label, it supplies a higher level of almost every available supplement. It's provided, whether it be vitamins or minerals. It just has a higher level. Just as a consumer, you don't really know that you have to trust your company to provide the high quality ingredients, which I feel that Core Balance has very high standards. So first of all, high standards in your ingredients, and then looking at your label, just making sure that they're balancing it appropriately, versus whereas Core Balance is providing a balanced calcium, depending on you're using alfalfa or your grass hay, and I think that's very important. Get the calcium phosphorus ratio wrong and you're actually hindering your diet. That is an important one, as well as just making sure that the levels of all the rest of your vitamins are appropriate, which this product's providing more than adequate levels.
Core Builder is a natural weight and muscle support supplement. It provides noticeable results, promotes better utilization of nutrition, and tests legal for all disciplines. Core Builder incorporates naturally occurring nutrients that are free of chemicals and synthetics, so as to support the natural athletic genetics rather than force the horse to work outside of its own physical capacity. The result is reduced risk of injuries and that extra boost to the young developing horse. Core Builder will increase endurance without the hormonal side effects of anabolic steroids. If you've ever had a horse that has the heart to win but lacks the endurance and strength, Core Builder is your answer.
Here at the ranch, we raise just a few, but we take 2-year-olds, we start them and break them. We get into the 3-year-old program, we go to the fraternities. We train all kinds of horses. We got amateur horses, non-pro horses, and top-end, hopefully top-end open horses. And we try to stay very competitive. We have even some youth horses that my daughters, and then we sell horses here too. It's a proven fact that nutrition is very important. It's proven in people, and I believe in getting good nutrition for myself, to stay healthy so I can stay competitive. And I believe in trying to find the best possible nutrition for my horses to keep them healthy and competitive. I think it's very important. I believe in it now. I tried it. I believe in it. And I think it's really helped. It's a very competitive business we're in, and I look for anything that would give me just a little competitive edge. Since it's so competitive, I want a horse that has to start strong and finish strong, and I really believe that Core Balance has helped me keep a horse starting strong and finish strong, just because I know they're getting the proper nutrition. What products I use of Core Balance? I have a few brood mares and foal mares, and we breed a few, and we start them off on that. And I believe that nutrition really helps those developing babies to hopefully keep me away from the developing problems in their hocks and stifles and their joints, and so that they can grow up to be strong. And then into the training program, I use the training formula for the horses in training. And I really like the builder too, to keep those horses that are in training, to keep them physically strong so they don't get weak on me. Some of the things I've seen some other people, they don't pay attention enough, or they take it more old school training program and old school nutrition program, and that's not how it is anymore. It's just no different than people. You've got to have the proper nutrition, and you can see the difference in people and horses to keep their energy level up. And that would be the biggest difference, is people use in their programs a little bit too much old school. And things have advanced a lot, and you got to go with it. The science is there now, which wasn't there before. And I'm going to go with the modern science to give me a little bit of a competitive edge, because there's a lot of competitive people out there and competitive horses, and I'm going to try to get that little bit extra, and that can make a big difference. The difference I've seen since I started using Core Balance is just like they just look healthier. It doesn't matter if they're outside or inside. You don't see them where they get too hot. Like from the heat. They can handle all the variations a little bit better, just because I know that they're getting the best. I use Core Balance. I've used all their products, and I've used the Core Calmer quite a bit. But again, it's a subtleness where a horse can handle that pressure just a little bit more that we put them under, that we have to put them under to stay competitive. We can ask a little bit more of them, they can mentally handle, and that's where I believe that Core Calmer's really helped me in situations. And on a lot of horses. On a lot of horses, I feel a big difference. And I've tried it with and without, and I can tell the difference with the Core Calm when I'm not using it. They're just a little more frantic, and the Core Calmer has really helped me a lot. The product I really noticed on Core Motion, I have an older mare that we brought. She was a brood mare. We had to retire her early because of some soundness issues, and she raised quite a few babies. and that's Kapoo. She's like 17 years old now, and she wasn't breeding anymore, so we started exercising her, and we put her on the Motion and all the Core Balance products, and also, like I said, and the Motion. And we started showing her, and it's like I said, she's 17 years old, and it's unbelievable what she can still do in the show pen.
Core Motion is a high-quality hyaluronic acid. In the joint, hyaluronic acid is responsible for directly lubricating the joint through production of synovial fluid. Treating joints on a daily basis will reduce the risk of joint deterioration due to today's tough competition demands. Core Motion is a perfect complement to the training formulas for those horses that need a little extra joint support.
Nutrition in performance horses is something that we all have to address. Performance horses have the genetics and training, but without the nutrition, I don't think they can reach their full potential. And I think Core Balance is a product that helps you balance that nutrition and helps the horse reach their maximum potential, their maximum ability. As far as the available products of Core Balance, the ones I'm most familiar with and use the most are the developmental formula, both the grass and alfalfa, just depending on the diet that the horses are on, I think are outstanding. The training formulas are good, and I like those, and I also like the fact that those are grass or alfalfa formulations as well. So they can kind of address issues for horses no matter what their diet. The Core Builder is probably one of my favorites, and that's something I've seen work. Horses that are just thin, not thriving, and having a hard time keeping up with their body condition during training. We put them on the Core Builder and just see a pretty dramatic turnaround in their body condition. Core Builder is, like I say, the one that I have seen the most dramatic changes from. I've had several horses just unthrifty, dull hair coat, thin, not thriving, and change them to add the Core Builder to it, and within a month or 6 weeks you see those horses start to put on weight and their coats start to glisten and just change their overall appearance without changing anything else as far as their diet or training goes. So I think that's a very real benefit that we've seen. The importance of nutrition in pregnant mares, I think, is probably one of the biggest things that I think Core Balance is useful for. I think the prevention of OCD and developmental disorders is probably a primary concern of ours. I think one of the big things about Core Balance, I think one of my favorite things about them is the fact that they developed a grass and alfalfa formula for horses on different diets, and especially on developmental formulas. I think that's really important to get all the balanced trace minerals and micronutrients that they need in order for that foal to develop properly, both in utero and after it's born. I think that's a key thing that Core Balance has addressed. Well, we've had a couple of farms that had some problems with OCD, or developmental problems in their foals, and we encourage them to get on the Core Balance developmental formula. And it seems like this year we haven't seen as many of the OCD problems from them as we have in the past. But I think the quality and the care that's gone into the formulation of the product and matching it to different diets, I think is the key to making Core Balance kind of stand out above a lot of the others that you could find in feed stores or anywhere else. The same supplement is probably not going to be beneficial using it for a horse on a grass diet versus an alfalfa diet. Core Balance addressed that by making different formulations for different diets, and I think that's a critical key in their success. I encourage clients to go with things that we're comfortable with, that we know the quality control is there, we know what's in them, what's on the label is actually what's there. And the Core Balance is one of those quality products that I just think is, it's one of the top of the line.
Core Calmer is an all-natural calming powder for competition, layups, or stressful situations. This blend of ingredients supports mental and physical aptitude while providing relaxation without the negative effects of heavy-footed feeling or a dull, expressionless look. All disciplines will find enhanced performance due to the positive increase in their horse's focus and concentration. Core Calmer helps your horse learn and remember from anxiety-provoking situations to better handle them in the future. Core Calmer is legal for all disciplines. Let's talk about the developmental formulas. With the demands of today's rigorous competition, it's imperative to support your equine athlete from inception through the growing stages. The developmental formulas are designed to build and maintain that strong equine foundation for broodmares, foals, and stallions. Your broodmares and recipient mares need to be on the developmental formula when breeding commences. Balancing ration formulations in estrus, growth, and maturation is crucial in the prevention of increasingly occurring developmental orthopedic diseases. There's significant research to support nutrition holding the greatest promise for reducing the severity and incidence of developmental orthopedic disease due to it being the only factor under direct control. Developmental formulas are devised to properly balance the sensitive calcium-phosphorus ratio. If an imbalance occurs, it will impair proper growth, which will lead to skeletal malformations, poor growth, and muscle disorders. Just imagine, all of this peace of mind can be delivered with just 2 scoops a day.
In performance horses, nutrition is critical. I don't believe in magic like a lot of times you hear about put this horse on this supplement or that and he just magically improved. I think it's very important to have the proper nutrients in the horse's diet so when he needs them, he gets them. And the Core Balance training formula does a really good job of doing that. There's a lot of products available and a lot of them are inexpensive. Proper nutrition is expensive, and so a lot of times people go to the big feed stores and just buy anything and probably not getting very good nutrition out of that. So to me, you need to go with a reputable company like Core Balance that you know that they're using good minerals, good vitamins, from pharmaceutical grade compared to some of them that are using minerals that are not even available to the horse. Even when he ingests them, they don't get absorbed. So that's important. With Core Balance, you can actually see a difference in the horse. They will bloom, they'll look good, and feel good. One of the big issues as an equine practitioner is developmental orthopedic disease in foals. And it's multifactorial. You have genetics, you have biomechanical stress, you have traumatic injuries, and you have nutrition. And the one thing as an equine veterinarian that I can control is the nutrition. So it's really important to have that proper nutrition in the broodmare when she's in foal and as a weanling, yearling until they're in training is to have something like the developmental formula that Core Balance puts out. And then I think it's really probably the best product that I've seen to eliminate the nutritional aspect of that disease. And also what I think is really important is they have 2 different formulas. They have the alfalfa base and the grass base. And there's a huge difference in the calcium content between the two hays. And without having two different formulas, you cannot control the calcium phosphorus ratio. And so with their products, you can. Well, start off with the core calmer. I got trainers that use it every day on some of these high-strung horses. And again, it's something that's natural. It's not a sedative or anything that's, that you're going to have to give every day. So the core calmer is good for that. The core builder is really good at putting weight on horses and building muscle. It's another product that, we've seen good results with. And then they have the training formula for the show horses, and then the developmental formula for the brood mares and foals, weaners, yearlings. And the developmental formula just really, to me, it's my favorite product because we do see a lot of developmental orthopedic disease, and I really feel like we can eliminate the nutritional aspect of that disease with this product.
Today's feeding program needs to parallel the increasing standards of competition. The emphasis on nutrition has become more important than ever in maintaining a competitive edge with performance disciplines, and the training formulas offer a complete and scientific solution to the nutritional guessing game. One of the most important aspects of the Core Balance formulas is the careful calculation of the 3 essential amino acids. If they're not at high enough levels, the horse is unable to utilize its nutrition and build quality proteins. The training formulas are properly balanced formulations consisting of everything your equine athlete needs in just one bucket, and specifically designed for overall health of your horse, including vitamins, minerals, joints, electrolytes, hoof health, immune support, and digestive system protection. Training formulas are offered in either alfalfa blend or grass hay only formula to match your horse's specific feeding program.
In performance horses, nutrition is everything. I mean, especially what I do, which is cutting horses. And I haul for the World Championship several different times. I've been a top 15 rider 20 times. A world champion in 2004, and I'm trying to do it again here. And I'm hauling a very green horse. She's 13 2 hands tall, which is very small for a quarter horse. And she just had to go. We went over 150,000 miles so far, so you can see it's a lot of pressure. And without nutrition, and man, we are a stickler for nutrition. We'd be lost. I got on Core Balance due to, I know everybody that's been involved in producing Core Balance and developing it. And one way or another, over the past 25 years, I've come in contact with each and every one that's involved in it. And I've tried a lot of supplements during my career. Been doing this for 45 years. I've been a cutting horse trainer. The Core Motion, to me, what I see difference on this mare this year, this particular horse, the reason I'm referring to her is that's kind of been the only thing I'm concerned with at the moment. And but she's just stayed fresh. She doesn't look like a horse that's been 100 miles, let alone 150,000. And she's the same horse every time I go to get on her. She does some unbelievable things for a little horse that when she's cutting physical things. And without that Core Motion, I don't think we would have been able to make it through the year like we have. She looks just like she's having fun every time she goes out there. So that Core Motion, as soon as I started feeding it, which was probably about, I think in April, and since then I've not hardly had any kind of physical problems with her at all. She's just been fresh and ready to go every time. Well, we used everything that Core Balance has come up with so far. My wife is a real stickler for nutrition, and actually she's, over the years, put me on several different things, but she likes it the best, and I like it the best. We finally agree on something. And we've used every product that Core Balance has, and we're using some of the builder on our baby colts and yearlings and 2-year-olds and whatnot. and been getting along really, really well with all those products. I see a lot of difference in the way these colts have grown this year compared to the colts we had last year. You know, I think with Core Balance, what I see a difference is I can actually see and feel the difference. I mean, before this product, we were actually having some physical problems and trying to keep this mare feeling good and doing good and getting consistent. Since we started using the product in April, all the consistency in the way she performs has been fantastic, and it's directly related to using the Core Balance. And I'll have to be honest with you, I was a little reluctant to try it only because my wife's had me on everything that's come along. And I go, yeah, you know, you know, any kind of a feed additive can do some things for a horse. This seems to do everything. And when I put her on the motion along with the regular Core Balance, it just changed the way she was doing things. I don't have near the veterinarian bills I had before to keep her sound, keep her going. And I'm just seeing a difference in her performance. She's got more consistent. She doesn't ever feel like that she's fatigued, and the motion seems to let her move a little freer to me than she did before. If you don't feel a difference, then you probably it hadn't worked. And I like I said, I got to be honest. I was skeptical at first, only because we'd tried everything in the past. I mean, we'd be on this, we'd be on that, and I think to myself, I don't see any difference. Well, this actually, I saw a lot of difference, and I would recommend it to any of my friends, any of my competitors. We're all in this together. I mean, anything you can do to make it easier to perform and to let a horse be more comfortable in what he does, I think it's just fantastic.
Core Builder is a natural weight and muscle support supplement. It provides noticeable results, promotes better utilization of nutrition, and tests legal for all disciplines. Core Builder incorporates naturally occurring nutrients that are free of chemicals and synthetics, so as to support the natural athletic genetics rather than force the horse to work outside of its own physical capacity. The result is reduced risk of injuries and that extra boost to the young developing horse. Core Builder will increase endurance without the hormonal side effects of anabolic steroids. If you've ever had a horse that has the heart to win but lacks the endurance and strength, Core Builder is your answer.
My training program, I've got a smaller group of horses, some 4-year-olds, some 3-year-olds, and a bigger group of 2-year-olds. And some of those horses are to go on and be trained and shown. And then there's a select few 2-year-olds that are headed towards a futurity sale each year. So I just believe in nutrition. I believe in it for myself, and I think you know, the way I look at these equine athletes is it's like the NFL. You know, it's not the minor leagues. It's the top of the deal, and you know, I think they need help to perform at that level. So I think nutrition plays a big role in that, and so I'm a big believer in it. Energy level, I think, is one of the biggest things, other than their appearance, but energy level and just their recovery time. You know, I think it's you know, when we stress their bodies, they're breaking down tissue, and so it's, you know, that's the way they're going to repair that. You know, so I think it's really important. You know, they're not out in the wild like they used to be, and getting everything they need. So I think you know, we're able to give them that. You know, a pretty horse sells, so. It's a big presentation's a big part of it. You know, they've got to ride the part and be the part, but you know, the presentation and the way they look is huge. So we've been really happy with the products, both the training formula and the builder. Certain horses benefit from the builder, and we've seen some really good results. And I'm just delighted with it. You know, all our horses come sale time look $1 million. You know. Yeah, I think it's just that it's a complete supplement. That's what I it makes it simple that way. There's the alfalfa formula and the grass formula, and the fact that it's got everything in it, and everything that's in it is in there at a level that is beneficial. It's not just on the label, and so that's why I believe in it. Oh, we've got a 2-year-old stud colt that come feeding time, he gets to shaking his head and whinnying, and he craves it. He loves it. When I first started using the product, a couple of things come to mind. One is on one particular horse, just his energy level. That he'd come out and he had a better outlook, on life or going to work. He had more energy. He was always a little bit sort of down and reserved, and it really changed him. And then another horse, just his appearance, it completely changed the way he looked, and it was a drastic change on him for sure. I haven't used a lot of other products in the past, just because there's so many out there, and I was a little skeptical about it. And I really believe in the core balance. There's been a lot of research behind it, and I have a lot of veterinarians that are good friends, and they're behind it, and I really believe in the product. We use basically all of them. Different horses get different products, but from top to bottom. We from the motion, the calmer, the training formula, the builder, just depending on the horse. Some horses get a number of products, some horses get one or a couple, but just depends on the individual. I think the biggest thing for me is just that you're giving them the building blocks to repair. The hardest part of this sport is keeping them sound, and I think a big part of it is the stress that we place them under, which is just sadly part of it. It's a very physical sport, and I think if they don't, the body will heal itself if it has everything it needs, and I think nutrition's a big part of that. And if we're able to give them those building blocks to repair itself, I think that's the best way to go about it.